Hi, I'm Brenda. Welcome to my channel, the Empress and the Sun Tarot. Tonight I am doing a video for how I manifested my twin flame. I came into union and met Dave last May. We were married last December. It was a very whirlwind romance. We were together almost 24/7 from the time we initially met each other in the physical. I had done quite a few processes. I initially had a catalyst twin flame, which is somebody I believed was my twin flame that didn't end up being my twin flame, but it definitely started me on this journey. Definitely was a runner chaser, kind of thing that, left me feeling very, very bad about myself, just unsure, where I stood, and it was very difficult for me. So I eventually, contacted a life coach and did a coaching session, and that really began, turning around my manifestation. I actually found my old journal that I had did my initial list in. So I'm going to read a little bit of my list as an example of, some of the things I did for manifesting, which was the first step I did towards, because I finally came to the point to where I was like, I deserve better than this. Why am I, I thought I was doing the spiritual work, which I was then, but I've done so much more since then. But I saw the life coach, or I did a, video chat with the life coach, and, he gave me some steps to take and some homework, and I did that, and I have since, learned so much more since then. So I'm going to kind of lay it all out here. There are several different processes. I had a lot of family karma, generational karma, past life karma. So I had a lot I had to work through. And I'm a Taurus, so I'm stubborn, just by nature sometimes. So, when the spiritual journey come knocking for me, I pushed it off. I had went to school to be a physical therapy assistant, and I was, recently, when I initially began my journey, I was married to my first husband. I went through a divorce, and I was single for 7 years. So in that time, I really had developed a more masculine energy, because, kind of when you're supporting, I had my daughter, at the time, my divorce, she was 18, but, it still is, a lot of work, even after they're 18, to be the mother. I was, her mom, the mom and the dad to her. Her dad doesn't really have any contact with her. So, a completely another situation. But so I had really developed a masculine energy. So it was really hard when I was trying to manifest, because I was manifesting from that energy of that masculine energy. So when I talked to the life coach, he gave me the homework of writing a list of my perfect partner. He said the list could not be too long. So and when I thought about, what I wanted, I needed to also think about, why did I want that? So I'm going to go through a few of the things I wrote on my list, and then we're going to go through some of the other steps that I've taken on my path since then, some of my healing things that I've learned and done, and the final step that actually brought me into union, to where Dave came into my physical. So that's later in the video. So we're going to start with just my list. At the top it says, my perfect mate, and then it's loves me unconditionally. That was really important to me. I had really been working on, my heart chakra and everything. So that was the top of my list. The next thing is respects my spirituality, meditates with me, generous to me and others, kind and caring, attentive, has balanced energy, open-minded, loyal, honest, And as I wrote each of those, because I took a while to write my list. It is 2 pages long, but as I did that, I thought about why did I want each of those things, Why did I want somebody that meditates with me? Because I find my spirituality is really important to me. And as I'm more grounded, I feel that would build our connection. And Dave and I have the most phenomenal connection. Sometimes he'll ask a question and I don't even have any idea about it. And I'll just come and give him the answer because Celia just flows through me. She's Dave and I's both guide. So we have a very, very connected relationship. We are 98% alike on most things. I like pickles and cucumbers and Dave doesn't. That's forever the only thing he could come up with that was different between us. And it's still pretty close to the same. But, I really took time and, you cannot want too many things. I wanted somebody that shows love to everyone, respects my opinion, is balanced. I wanted balanced love, give and take. I wanted, that reciprocity. Somebody that was respectful, well-mannered, gives good massages. Dave gives me the best foot massage. Has lots of stamina. Dave has an actual aspect in his chart where he works like 4 people on like physical things. It's like really crazy how much physical work he can actually do when he gets going. He's definitely a doer. I'm trying to teach him to be a beer. Communicates with interest, is an active listener, is spontaneous, likes to kiss and hold hands, treats me like a queen, wants to make me be more, says be inspired, makes time for me, a best friend. I will actually say about the one about inspires me. I have a deck of cards that are the Muse cards, and they have roses on the back of them. And they remind me of Dave because Dave always brings me roses pretty consistently. And I told him he's my muse. He inspires me. That's literally, we had that conversation the other day about how much he inspires me, on this journey to keep going and working. So I'm going to have to show Dave my list. He's going to be, but that was my list. And then I went through, and as I was doing that, I worked on, why did I want those things? There were other assignments I did, so I will share those in other videos, but I felt like that was really important to go through and literally write down all the things you want, all those things are really important. So just the things that are important to you, even the little things, you would think it's crazy, but like Dave gives me the best foot massage. He said the other day he didn't realize how much I enjoyed it, and I really thoroughly do. But as I, wrote my list, that was my, my big dream. That was what I thought I wanted. I didn't know if that was even a possibility, but I did the assignment with, my whole heart. I really took some time, and this was the process I did before I started my list. I made sure I was really grounded. Some ways you can get really grounded is to take a walk, take a bath, just put your feet in the grass or any kind of sand or water. Really is really good. And then I called in my guides to assist me. You can call in your guide, your ancestors, the archangels, any ascended masters, whatever source energy, higher power you believe in to help you. And I would ask my ego to step aside. I would, say, and that way you're coming from a really heart-centered place. And then I would, as I'm putting my hand there, that would be what I do next. I would put my hand on my heart and really focus your energy at your heart and really pull your energy there. And then I would sit and I would, after you sit there really, feeling into that heart space, then I would start that list, what is my perfect partner, my perfect mate, and, really, really be specific. I read you a lot of my list, so, And make sure it's only the positive things. Like I just put loyalty. I didn't even put a whole sentence. I just wanted loyalty. In my past relationship, I've not always had that. And one of the really wonderful characteristics of Dave is I know the kind of loyalty that he stands for. So I feel so safe and secure. So that was, something that really, really was something I manifested, because that security was on my list too. So, just make sure you're putting, you don't have to put the whole sentence, but why do you want loyalty? Because I want that security to know, that we're going to work through that problem. I'm safe to use my voice to do that. And just know by writing it down makes it so much more powerful. I kept this, but I also did a copy of it, and that is what I did my burn. Tomorrow, Dave and I are going to do our burn for our manifestations. We were going to do it tonight, but he had to go pick his sister up at the airport. So we're going to do our burn tomorrow, but either take a picture and burn, but I would suggest that either you write 2 lists, and I would write it in a journal. That way you can go back and reference it. Because just like the book, if me and Dave are having any kind of struggle, I go back and I look at that list, and it makes me appreciate Dave so much, and it just brings all that love right back to my heart. And when I'm feeling in that place of love for him, all that other energy kind of, subsides. So, we will do the burn tomorrow, so we will do a separate video on that. And when we do that, we will talk about speaking your intention. That, I will say, from the time I wrote my original list to the time I'm going to see if it has the date on there. It doesn't. From the time I wrote my list till I manifested Dave was about 4 years. I had a lot of work to do, a lot of things to heal, a lot of things on my path. I was really manifesting, 4 or 5 of Pentacles, kind of that lack energy, until I healed some family karma, that I just found out when I went back to California in May for my dad's funeral. I found out about a debt he had with my uncle, from 48 years ago that my dad never paid. So, there was that family karmic debt that was there. Even something that simple can, cause that struggle and lack. And I know my parents definitely had some of that. So you pick up those beliefs, and you can carry that karma, because I'm my dad's first child, so biologically. So I carry that debt from him in my karma. So I do have to, I had to go into the Akashic Records and heal that. So it took me a little while. And eventually, I had found a YouTube channel that I really resonated with, and that, was working on the spiritual path, and it really, resonated. And she had some classes, and I began to take her classes. And I had taken a class on Chiron, which this is the sign on your birth chart of Chiron. It is the key. I have actually found that in healing my Chiron is how I brought Dave into my life. So I literally took this class, and within 3 months, I met Dave. Once I started focusing on what was my Chiron, how did this affect me? Because initially when I, found out where my Chiron was, the placement, I'm like, this doesn't make any sense to me. And through my stuff with Dave, we've shed so much light on it. But through starting on the path of learning about my Chiron, which I mention it a lot on my videos, because it did make such an impact on me moving my energy forward and healing that karmic debt and working towards that stuff. Very shockingly. So when it is the symbol of the key, my guide had me write literally, it is the key. When I was writing, because I was writing some notes out to make sure what I wanted to include in this video. So I would definitely look on your birth chart. You have to know your time and location of your birth, and of course, the date. But look where your Chiron is, what house it's in, what sign it's in. Also, when you're looking at that, look at what is the natural ruler of that sign. Like mine is in my second house, but in my chart, it's in Aquarius. So the normal ruler of the second house is Taurus. So Taurus is about what you value, which is where my North Node is. So my North Node is right there in Aquarius in Taurus. My Chiron is in my third house of Aries. When I was a child, my sisters kind of bullied me. And just like my first marriage, I didn't feel like I could speak my truth. I felt like I had to, walk on eggshells. I had been in a car accident and I went back to college because I became a physical therapy assistant. But with doing that, I really started finding my voice. So that car accident I had actually is what really I can say is the first thing that really pushed to change my life. Before that, I had, wanted more, and my ex-husband had said to me, why do you always have to want more? Why can't it ever be enough? And I'm like, that didn't just sit right with me. And I'm like, well, I feel like I should want more. So, as things happen. So as I worked on this, I really manifested Dave pretty quickly. I was doing this work. The universe had me off work. I wasn't working. I was drawing my unemployment because of the COVID situation. And Dave was actually working from home. But I was working on that, and I was doing better on my manifestations. But I finally decided, because I was dating and I was meeting men, and all of them needed me to do healing energy work on them. So I'm like, maybe I'm just supposed to be an energy worker. Maybe I'm not. Maybe love isn't for me. I just kind of gave up. I'm like, maybe I'm just supposed to do the energy stuff. And I was just doing tarot for me, personally, as part of my path. And I was doing meditation and other things to work on raising my vibration. And I finally just had enough, and I'm like, fine, I'll just do the energy stuff. And I was listening to some Abraham, and one of her processes is a focus wheel. There are many examples online of her focus wheel, so just type in Google, Abraham focus wheel examples, and you can pull them up. On that, you basically write a statement at the top, basically, of where you are. You draw a big circle, and then you draw a little circle in the middle, and in the little circle, you draw what you would like it to be. And in my middle circle, I said, I want a committed relationship. And then I started writing, very general things because, as Abraham teaches, you got to start on that wheel with something you believe. And then as you get in a more positive energy, that builds momentum, and then you can get there. So I'm going to have to look and see if I can't find my focus wheel, because honestly, a week from the day I did my focus wheel, I started talking to Dave on a dating website. I had pretty much taken everything off my profile. It basically said I was an energy healer. And it caught Dave's attention, and apparently my eyes. So we talked for probably a week. We were going to have a date, and I stood him up. I just chickened out. Because it hadn't been the greatest for me, in the past. I thought my picker was broke, but so we talked a little bit, and in that next, 5 days that Dave and I talked, 4 days, because we met on the 5th day, in those days, our conversations became more about, how we were connected, how similar we were, how many, we found out how many similar traumas we have in one way. We've been raised in completely different, environments and, things. but we have the very same wounds that affect, what affects him in some way or another affects me. So there is that mirroring. We are working on that every day. So don't think once you come into union, the work is done. Once you come into union, the work is just starting. We are doing the work every single day. So just know it never, also when, when you're with that person, you can do a chart for your relationship, and it will tell you, what the wounded healer is for your relationship. It will also tell you the north node for your relationship. You can also look, and it tells you different if things are aspecting, especially if you have any Pluto aspects. Dave and I have a Pluto aspect, and it really causes me to use my Chiron every time we call it when he Plutos me. So when he Plutos me, it causes me to use my voice and stand up for myself, which is a great thing. And it's not even something he's consciously doing. It's the universe's way of just testing me. Have I learned that lesson? Do I know my worth? So will I stand up for myself? So I get tested. Recently, the universe has been having other people test me, not Dave. So he's been very appreciative of that. So just know that, the higher vibration overall that you're in, it really makes the work together easier. But just know that just because you come into union, it doesn't stop the path. It actually accelerates it. Dave and I have done so much healing work together because we were together, 24/7 that first, 7 or 8 months. He has some crystal singing bowls, and he's done so much amazing work for my energy. He's got a buffalo drum that, really helps my root chakra. And we've done some, a lot of work on each other. I really taught him about crystals, and he really loves them now. I keep them around me. I feel like they're very powerful. They help keep me balanced or grounded. They also help protect your energy. But just know, once I did that focus wheel, literally within a week, I had changed the overall energy I had about a committed relationship because, I just thought I couldn't, manifest it. I had really given it up. So I did that focus wheel, and then I took everything off my profile on there because I was just like, okay, here's what I want. And somebody from my past had called me that was kind of an in and out person, and my statement to them was, I am dating for marriage. And then literally the next person I dated was Dave, and I was dating for marriage. So that is another there is the last little nugget of information my guide says. Know what you want. My statement was, I'm dating for marriage, and I was serious about that. And the universe took me serious. So it literally manifested Dave in my life so quickly. We immediately knew the very first night. We spent all night talking, and every night and day after that. Literally, that first, day I was home, a few nights, and then after that, I was literally with Dave 24/7. We were, he had just got his house, and we were working on, he was doing some rehab to it, and I was helping him. I have experience with that. So we were doing that. So we really got to do a lot of work getting to know each other. Because I would say Dave is my best friend. I can tell Dave anything and everything, and I do. We have such a great relationship. There's complete trust. I mean, he has complete access to my channel. He has my whole email address and my phone. So that's pretty, trust there. A lot of people, would be like, oh, not your, yes, he has complete access to every part of my life. We are really super connected. When Dave is holding something back from me, we are so connected. I can feel it. We had been dating a couple of months, and I was like, Dave, I know you're holding something back from me. I'm like, I can feel it. I know you're hiding something. I'm like, I was like, are you cheating on me? What is going on? Do you have interest somewhere else? Because I could just feel he was hiding something from me. And what he was hiding from me is he had got my engagement ring and he was proposing to me. So I kind of messed up the proposal because I could just feel it because we are so connected. And so just know that when you meet that person, you're going to feel that instant connection. And what I've learned about from the catalyst is, love doesn't hurt. My relationship with Dave, tries to, be very sensitive. We have that aspect. So it happens, but it happens so it can make me work on my mastery of my emotions and how I handle things and how I react. That's why I have another journal where, I do the work of where I'm asking the questions. So, and I feel like that's definitely the Chiron, how does this affect me? What emotion am I feeling? So I feel like doing that Chiron work is probably one of the things that mostly I needed to heal toward, be in the relationship I am with Dave, to be able to have the communication we have. If we didn't have the communication we have, I don't know where our relationship would be. In my previous relationships, there hadn't been very good communication, and I believe it was the same for Dave based on, what his input's been about it. So, we are both learning about our communication and our emotion, and feeling confident enough to be able to share that with each other. So I feel like that's really, really important, as you do meet that person, if it's somebody new or somebody from the past, just, you have to really get to know every part of them. It's super important to be able to talk about anything and everything and have that trust, because I trust Dave completely, and I feel like Dave trusts me. So we are definitely in this journey together, but it is working on it every single day. So don't think once you get into that relationship, that twin flame, that it ends the work. It actually gets so much more, because we are healing, all those wounded parts of ourselves. So my guide's really telling me, that Chiron is key. So check where your Chiron is. We have the Facebook group that's private. If you want to talk about your Chiron in there, we can talk about it and see what we think about it. Dave's really good about doing research, and I have, some cards, and I, gained some knowledge over the years of what I've done. I had a huge download today about all of this. So I hope this message reaches you well, and we will be doing the burn tomorrow for the manifestation, because where the sun and Venus is that Venus star tomorrow at 23, on the 23rd at 2 degrees of Scorpio, I believe is where it's at. Saturn is also going direct, which is, our karma. So it's going to take a look. Have you been doing that work of healing that karma? Because that is also part of that coming into the twin flame thing. You have to work on healing your karma, your family karma, your generational karma. So I hope that helps. And everyone has a really great day. My guide's just making sure she's gotten everything. She definitely wanted to give this message. She's been really excited about it. She wrote like 5 pages of notes. So she really wanted to talk about it tonight. So there is really powerful manifesting energy right now, and you changing your vibration and working on your healing, because a lot of times we think we're healed. When I initially heard of my Chiron, I'm like, I don't have any of that. And I really dug deep, and things pop up here and there, and really, so we're working on our Chiron all the time. So I feel like that is one of the keys to working through, the twin flame journey. So that is the symbol of it. It is the key. So take a look and see where your Chiron is. And I will be doing a few videos about Chiron in the future. I think I'll do one next week. That's what my guide's telling me. She's saying do something next week. So we will do a little bit next week of Chiron after the eclipse and see what energy is coming. So I hope everyone has a great night. Thank you for joining me. Bye.